Alright, let's get into it. I recently just purchased this. This is a Type 95 NCO sword from World War II. It's missing the swivel in the back is missing. Alright, now I'm going to tell you something else. This sword is a reproduction, or you can call it a fake sword, and we're going to get into the details here. Now, they're like historic correct. See how it's brown? Might look black depending on your settings, but this is brown. During World War II, there was a few different variants of this sword. In the beginning, they had a copper handle. Then they did steel, like this, but if this was legit, this still wouldn't be so shiny. And then they did an aluminum one. And then when they got into the last dish, they had wooden handles, and they weren't, or they called them pineapple handles, something like that. But no, this is a reproduction. So, and if you're okay, in case you're curious, I got this for $80. These typically, they don't hold a whole lot of value, but you can find them anywhere about $150, about what the true value is of these. But they go up even higher sometimes. I think tops you're looking at $200. But I often come across these where people don't realize what they are, thinking they're legit swords, and I've seen them sell for $400 or $500, which, and if you're one of these viewers and you're one of these people who paid $400 or $500 for one of these, I'm sorry that you had to go through that and get burned. So yeah, if you're buying or looking into one of these, if you're wanting a legit sword, just please make sure you're doing your research, because I'm going to give some examples here. This one has like the Kokora arsenal mark, but this ain't legit. This is fake, just to give it, you know, the realism look. Well, on your legit Type 95 NCO swords, these markings would be a little bit smaller, not as big. Now let's open it up. And here's some more giveaways. Now, I bought this on purpose, but I'll tell you more about it here in a minute. Any NCO sword, if you see writing like this on the blade, that is a dead giveaway that you're looking at a reproduction. More writing on the other side. Honestly, this is nice though for what it is. It's about as sharp as your Type 30 bayonet, but it ain't razor sharp. Now see, here's the serial number. I know the camera probably ain't going to pick up. It's upside down, because they've gotten better at making more realistic, you know, historic correctly reproduction swords that everybody so calls fake swords, but that's their fault if they were ignorant and spent all that kind of money on a sword when it turned out it was a reproduction, because they were too lazy to do research. But when you see one and the numbers are upside down, that is a dead giveaway that it's a reproduction. Another sign: there is no inspector's mark on the serial after the serial number. Now I think when they got into last ditch, I think some of them didn't have an inspector mark, but your early ones definitely will have an inspector mark at the after the serial number, which this don't have. That's my air kicking on. And it's missing something else too. Your NCO swords would have another brass, I can't think of the word, but if you know anything about swords, you know what I'm talking about. would have a brass piece right here, and that's missing that, and that was never made to have this. Overall, now this is nice, because I bought this on purpose to go with my like when I do my Type 38 shooting video, or if I do another 99 shooting video, I can have this along and I can touch it and do whatever, and I don't have to worry about ruining the value on something like this because it's not legit. Because I do own 2 real ones, and I barely ever handle them, because the more you handle it, and especially you're not supposed to touch the blade because it'll rust, and that all, you know, makes the value on those swords go down. So I wanted this, a reproduction, so I don't have to worry from handling it and playing with it and ruin the value on this, because this don't really hold a whole lot of value. But I have seen these go high. Now, into that story, I was bidding on it. This was at a penny auction. It started off for a penny. When I discovered it, it still had like, I think 6 or 7 days left on the auction, and it was at $61. So I was like, I'm gonna bid, and I put $80. That's what I bid. Oh, it says, well, we're sorry, you're not the highest bidder, and I ended it. I didn't bid anymore. Well, once it got to the last of the days, I noticed this sword was going for $452. I was like, good Lord, I was like, that's a reproduction. I was like, come on, people, like, don't you all know what's real and what's fake? Because this ain't your legit World War II sword. It looks like it. It's because it's a reproduction. It ain't that it's a fake sword. Now, anyways, I got a message right before the auction ended, and I got a direct message through the company, not the seller. But the company said there was 2 people that canceled their bid, so it made me the highest bidder. So I got this for $80. Well, with shipping it was almost $100, but that's how much I got this for. So I don't regret what I paid for this, because I believe these are typically worth about $150, $200 tops, and that's it. But yeah, this about as sharp as a bayonet. It ain't razor sharp, but I'm curious though, because I don't own a legit Type 95. But I'm wondering if the Type 95s, the legit ones, were roughly as sharp as a bayonet, because your handmade ones, the ones that were made by hand, those things are like razor blades. Those are super, super sharp, and touching the blade and rubbing to check the sharpness, you're going to get cut. So definitely don't do that. If you own one, or if you're going to buy one, don't do that, because you'll probably be going to the hospital and having to get stitches. But yeah, I wanted to make a quick little video. Like I said, this is nice. But yep, like I said, I don't regret owning this. I bought this on purpose, and I wanted it for, like I said, for my gun videos. So you all have a good day and enjoy life and stay positive. Oh, and one last thing. I just wanted to show the end of the scabbard before I ended this. Alright, that's it. But no, if some of you out there are into this kind of stuff, and you're like, really don't want to pay a ridiculous price to own a real one, or, you know, a legit one, maybe a reproduction like this might satisfy you. Like I said, it's not faulty material. It is nice, and if you wanted to, you could sharpen it more if you wanted to make it sharp like a razor, and you don't have to worry about ruining the value on something like this, because like I said, it's a reproduction. There are different variants of reproductions of this particular sword. They do got ones that's got a brass handle instead of copper. Original ones had copper. And there's ones, but it won't be historically correct. But they do have ones that are, what is it, the T10 carbon steel that's been clay tampered, and it'll have a, you know, the hamung on the blade, but legit from World War II, NCO swords were machine made. They didn't have a humong and none of that fanciness, but they do make very nice reproductions like that. But you're looking at $400 or $500 for one of those. And I believe there are a couple other videos I've seen on YouTube of people who do own them, and those are very sharp too. Those ain't something that you're gonna rub the blade with your finger. But no, I'm satisfied with this. But I wanted to point out, because I've seen others on YouTube, or you know how you got someone who does videos for stuff that they're going to sell. I've seen one of these, but it didn't have writing on the blade like you've seen with this one. The dead giveaway was the serial number was upside down, so I commented on it and was like, yeah, I said that's a reproduction sword. And of course people were trying to argue with me, trying to tell me that it's not, but I got books on this, so I know. So yeah, if any of y'all, and yeah, it looks like, it does look similar to an authentic one, but this is definitely not. So if you own one, just be aware and just actually admit that you got a reproduction, and quit going around trying to tell people that it's real, because I think that's sad when, or you might be one of them, who went out and paid $400, $500, $600 for one of these, and then you did your research and found out that it was a repo. Yeah, I'd be mad too. I'd be very upset. But I bought this on purpose, and my purpose, like I said, was to do the gun videos with. I can carry this, and if it falls and gets dented or who knows what, I don't have to sweat it, because it ain't like I got hurt or the value, or, you know, I mean, this don't hold value. Your legitimate ones you don't want to take out and play with and mess around with it, because when you do, the value goes down dramatically on those swords, especially if you touch it with your bare fingers on the blade, because they're made of carbon steel. They'll rust. Any kind of rust, whatever, definitely kills the value on the sword. But you can have something like this, and you don't have to worry about that. And if you've seen them, I've got other videos on my other swords, the real ones. This is my first repo, and I'm quite satisfied with it. I like it. I probably won't buy no more, but this is nice. I do like it.